Hi again, everyone. This is the lesson on homework 2. It's not really a lesson, it's more an explanation on how to complete homework 2, and this is for module 2 in CSS. And what we're doing with this one is we're adding more style with an external style sheet. So the objective is to create your own unique style sheet, much like the homework for module 1. Create a unique style sheet that will be used on 3 different HTML files. You need to be done with the first one in order to do this one. So at this point, I know there are some of you that still need to turn in homework 1 for CSS. So work on that, and then you can continue working on this. If you are finished with homework 1, you can either build upon that style sheet and continue working with it, or start over and build a new one. So these are what they look like, what the web pages look like before the HTML files. In fact, they are on, if you go to Haiku, the assignment called CSS Module 2 Homework Project. Open that, and in the assignment details, you will see the 3 HTML files. And, okay, there we go. There we go. So let me go back to this. Let that load up. And then I'll show you the after pictures. So let's see if this is loading up. Sorry, the internet here at the hotel is really bad. Nope, that's not it. So you need to create a style sheet that includes or updates the body, header, H1, the links, the active class, the left class, and the right class, and the images in the left class. So the body, the way it works. Change the padding and margin, and feel free to adjust the size of the text. You do not need to do that, but feel free. Once you add style to it, you might see that you want to change the size of the text because it doesn't look proportional or perceivable, maybe. So I'll make sure. So body, header. Change the background color. Let me go back to this, see if this is. Boy, let me try it again. Module 2. Okay. So these are the 3 HTML files. You can download them, open them up on Notepad++ or your editor. And this is what it looks like. You've seen this already, and you styled this already where you took out the images, right? You centered the text, you styled the links. So same files, actually 3 of them now. And then the after effects, this is what it looks like afterwards. So you notice a few things. There's a lot more style to these links. These images are back, and they're in this left section here. And the text is unedited, which is okay. It doesn't have to be this background throw-uppy kind of greenish, brownish color. It doesn't have to be that color, just styled differently. This is, you don't need to see the second pages here, but you can browse through these yourself. I'll come back to that. So the header, actually let me go back to the body. Let me go back to the first one. So the body of the page, you see right here, this white area, that is padding and margin. That's what spaces it apart and gives that little bit of more white space around your web page. Sometimes it looks better. Too much kind of looks doesn't look too great, but if you have just enough, it actually makes your website look a little better. All right, not able to go back. Oh. Okay, it's still thinking. Alright, so let's go to the header. Change the background color. Now you might be thinking, well, look at the header. You have I don't see a background color. Why am I changing the background color? So you're going to add this image. Using the image provided. It's not in the CSS folder. It's actually, I'll edit that right now. It's actually in the, if I close this, the details, the assignment details. It's this link here. So you click on this link and you open up this image. So what you need to do is make sure you include this URL in your image. And the way you do that real quick, just a quick refresher. Let's see if I could do this real quick without looking it up. It's an image tag, of course. Oh, and it goes in your header. Not in your head section, your header. I don't have one here. So let's put one here. Header. Close it. Header. Image source equals quote. I forgot, I didn't hit the quote. Quote. Remember, you need alt, but you can leave it blank. It's fine. And then I'm gonna let's put width equals 100%. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. All right. And so there it is there on the top. So why do you need a background color? In case the image doesn't appear, it's not a big white space, you have that color. So pick something that's appropriate for that color. And oh, it's an absolute link, so you don't have to worry about downloading it and putting it in your folder. So make sure it's an absolute link. H1. What are the H1s? Change the color of your H1 there. And increase the font size. Navigation links. Style only the links in the nav element. Remember the hint? It was pseudo classes, pseudo elements. So in your HTML file, you are going to see, and let me open it up real quick. I think it was this one. So you're going to see here ahref, ahref. They are all in the aside class left. So your pseudo class would be, sorry, not pseudo class, your descendant selector or advanced selectors. You want to review the assignment on advanced selectors would be it'd be aside with the class left. So I don't give too much away, but your CSS would be aside.left. Right? There are other ways you could do it, but remember, you cannot touch the HTML. You cannot change this so that it works with your CSS file, because what I'm doing is taking your CSS file and attaching it to this original HTML file. And if it doesn't work on mine, then I'm sending it right back and making you fix it. You don't need to recreate it exactly, but the links should be spaced apart. Round the borders and remove the underline. Rounding the borders, I'll give you another hint. Let me go back. It's called border radius. So look that up, border radius. Active class. So the background color and font color to create an active class. So let me go back to the HTML. Which one is the active class? Right here, and that is the link. And if I go back to the picture, the link that is a little darker than the rest, that is the active class. And unfortunately I can't skip between the two, but if you do it yourself, you'll see that depending on which web page you're on, that link will be quote-unquote class active, and that because of that it'll be a little darker. So in your CSS, you want to use the advanced selector class active to style only that one link. And it's also used to distinguish the current page from the others. So that way your user knows which page they're on. Left and right class, they should be side by side. You see how this left class is right next to the other, where before these images were on top of the text here, like so, right? Images and then the text. Well, now they're going to be side by side. And change the background color for the left class. Again, I said this earlier, it doesn't have to be this color. Change it. But again, make sure it's perceivable. Make sure it's doesn't contrast with this image here. You might have an issue with the image in the header. So you can see here, it's kind of short, cut off. So you want to figure out how to expand it so it covers the, where am I at? Covers the width of the header, and that it might come out, in the middle, where you might see just the middle section of this image, where it's not really a good part of the image. You want to see maybe the faces, or maybe a little lower so you see this person's face. I don't know. But you don't, oh, there it goes. You don't want to see the feet or the midsection of this image. Images, make sure you put them back in. And there's a border around them. So you see these images here? There's a little black border. Remember, border needs 3 attributes. It needs a style, color, and a width or thickness. Make sure they're centered within the left class. These are centered within this width here, right? A couple ways to do that. I'll let you figure that out. And then make sure the spacing on top and bottom. Hint, hint, you want to use margins around. Margin is this invisible space. You don't see it on the web page, but it's in between the black border and the space outside of this image here. Okay. There's not a lot of padding. If there was padding, you would see space between the image itself and the border. I don't see any padding here, so it's not padding, it's margin. Margin is outside the border. We're not peer grading, so that's it. So that's the explanation of the assignment. Make sure you go back and check the assignment details. It's clearly laid out. Step 1 is to download. Don't download it. I'll change that now. Just copy paste the URL into the link. So I'll make sure I change that. Shouldn't have done that right now. That's going to take forever. Can I escape? No. Use the image and put it in your use the image by copying and pasting the URL in the source. Style the following: padding, margin, header. Went over all this, but make sure you check off all of these dots here. And then make sure you check the images for reference. When you submit it, I'd really appreciate it if you can name your file with your first name, CSS Module 2 homework.css. Actually, I'm going to change this too. Initials. Initials in lowercase. So mine would be lowercase. No, let's go uppercase. Uppercase EV. Oh, these are off, that's why. So lowercase EV, CSS, uppercase, Module 2, homework, CSS. So initial CSS, Module 2, homework. Yes. Okay, and it's due next week. Remember, again, you only want to submit the CSS file, so it needs to work on the original HTML files. You cannot change these. You cannot affect these. And I think that's about it. I will be on my computer. So if you have a question, email me, turn it in, let me know if you have a question. If you're stuck, you can email it to me. Your CSS, I'll take a look, or you can submit it. Even though it's not complete, you can submit it. I'll take a look, and I'll try to answer you the best I can as quickly as I can. And that's about it for now. So have fun, do your best, and I'll see you again on Thursday.